Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Blazy. Welcome back again to another episode. I really can't be thankful enough to host these sessions all the time. And today in the house, I have one of my best friends. Actually, he just came in from Jamaica to visit for a short time before he flies back tomorrow. And I wanted us to make some memories, like learn new things about each other, share some history, and do all kind of crazy stuff. But before I continue, please, if you're watching this video for the first time, please do not hesitate to subscribe. Let the channel grow and let's grow together. Hey, man.
Hi.
Welcome to America.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
A pleasure to have you. So first of all, let's start by introducing your name. Can you tell us what's your name?
So I'm Daniel, and I'm from Jamaica. I am currently 20 years old, the moment we speak.
Yeah, the funny thing about Daniel is when I met you, you were like 18?
Yeah.
Yeah,
of those ages.
Now you've grown, man. I can see beard is growing too. It's fantastic. I met him in Kingston, and Kingston is one of the most iconic places in the planet for sure. In few reasons. One of them is because of the legend Bob Marley.
That is true.
Bob Marley Museum is there. And at the same time, because of the gangs in Kingston. So we're gonna talk about some few different stuff. You're from the area, you know more about it, more than I do. So I'll have to ask you a question, or maybe you can give us your opinion. So I'll ask you first, what's your impression about America so far since you visited for the first time?
You want the good answer or the bad answer first?
Let's start with
the difference between America and Jamaica.
No, just your impression.
Because America is a big place. I have been in Montana, and I just now in Chicago. It's two different places, two different cultures. I feel like Chicago more feels like home to me. It feels like Jamaica. The little shop around there, the neighborhood. Everything just feels like home. I like the diversity here. But Montana, I'm telling you, I was in Montana for 4 months. It's totally different. It's different
did you see less black people there?
If you see a black person, you're lucky.
Yeah.
It's a thing in Montana where every time you see a black person, you say hi to each other. Yeah. Not even if you don't know them, it's just because they're black, and it's so rare you see a black person there.
And sometimes they're not black like you. Sometimes they're mixed.
Yeah. They are.
That's interesting. I've never been to Montana, so I wonder how did it affect your your experience? Because coming from Jamaica, where it's a black man country, how did it affect your impression? How did you cope with it for the first few weeks or few months?
So it's my first time traveling. It is my first time traveling outside of Jamaica, and to go to somewhere like Montana, it is eye-opening because it's so much you have to adapt to. The food they eat is different. How they speak. I can talk now. I can talk my lingo because it's a difference between speaking English, Jamaican, speaking your accent English, and speaking American. Most of the, how could I call people who reside in Montana, most of those people, they do not understand when I'm just talking like this English. I have to talk in a slang.
Yeah.
But when I'm here, I can talk regular English.
Jamaica,
or just Jamaican.
Yeah.
But it has been a fun experience, a new one, just to actually see how many people actually are in the world, and how many people sometimes we don't even think about or even know about, are people with lives and children and in totally different cultures. It's eye-opening.
Chicago is one of the most diverse places in the planet. Anybody who comes to Chicago, they have a chance to see everybody. There's Africans, there's Jamaicans, there's everybody. So I was so surprised that you went to Montana. You didn't pick another state. I thought you might come to Chicago first, or maybe New York, or let's say Atlanta, Texas, or so, whatever.
If I was doing what I wanted, I would have done that, but. It's how the travel agency thing goes in Jamaica. You have to pick a job in. Can I talk about why I'm here?
Tell us why you came here.
Yeah, so I go to college in Jamaica. I go to University of the West Indies, and in my summer breaks, I would apply for what we will call a work and travel program, and it allows us to come to the US in order to like work in a different experience different cultures, and just to be in a different environment. So that's the program that I came here on. So, and at the time Montana was the best offer, like the place in Montana was the best offer, so I just picked it up. None of those things. So
did they offer you any other places or just Montana?
It was other jobs offered to me.
So like what other places did you get a chance like?
I don't quite remember the states, because as I said, it wasn't appealing. It was based on like the pay rate, the rent you're going to be paid for X amount of months. But like there are other people in states like Pennsylvania, Virginia, North Carolina, Massachusetts. They have so you can go to different states. It's just that Montana was the best option on the
but I feel like it's nice also to leave your comfort zone, like the way you used to live in Jamaica, you know, like majority black people, and then go into a different place where there's like you don't see black people, so it makes you learn, you know.
It's another thing to add. The air in Montana, I didn't even realize until now how I'm breathing fine now. Like the air in Montana is dry and the air is humid. It's not like, because I know that beaches are down here, it's not like there's a beach near or anywhere. It is dry, humid. When you're training or when you're exercising, you actually feel it, like your nose starts blistering. Sometimes I just get up and my nose starts bleeding.
That's crazy.
So it's totally different. It's cold and the air is dry and humid, and when it gets hot, the heat, it's not like I can sit down in the sun out here. I cannot do this because the heat just beats down on you, because the air is not moist, if you get what I'm saying.
And then I won't go ahead and compare Jamaica and America, because for sure I'll be like a very unfair comparison. Because I can't even compare US and Kenya. I'm from Kenya.
First world, third world.
And Kenya is a big country.
Comparison.
But my thing is like the cultural experience. Just like, I know you've been in Chicago, you've been in Montana. In Kenya, people are so loving, and there's like community experience. Everybody is your brother, everybody is your sister. So how does it feel to be, I know in the US it's quite different here. Neighbors keep to themselves. You walk in the street, you don't talk to anybody unless you know who they are. Is it the same in Jamaica?
Not the same. So in the country, you can find that relationship in the rural area of Jamaica. Like they're more closer together tied, because when I talk to people in the rural area, they tell me that, why do you Kingstonians live like this with each other? In the rural area, they live together, but I'm telling you, like in Kingston, it is not that. It's like here, everyone's for themselves. No one's really, even it's not like here, because here people are friendly. You can easily make a friend here. It's not that easy in Jamaica. Like you can't just walk up and smile to someone and they smile back. It's a little more, it's a tough environment. So when people ask me, how did you handle Montana? Like, ask me how did I handle Jamaica? Because if I can survive Jamaica, I can survive anywhere.
And let me dive into the biggest topic, one of the biggest topics. So Jamaica is known for its beautiful resorts, beautiful islands, beautiful beaches, beautiful festivals, and beautiful chicken, jerk chicken, all kind of crazy stuff.
Good food.
Beautiful concerts and events. But at the same time, Jamaica is known for like one of the deadliest gang cities in the whole planet, which is Kingston. There's so many music, there's so many stories, there's so many articles written about Kingston, how dangerous it is. I was there last year. I know I'm not gang affiliated, and I was not, and I've never been. So I felt a little bit safe, but at the same time, I didn't feel so much safe when I was at the market, because I felt like people were profiling me. But what history can you tell us about the gangs in Jamaica? Like, how can you describe that?
Let me explain something to you that no one knows, or I guess no one even thinks about. Black people kill black people. Black people hate black people. It's not like racism is not from black people hate black people. You can drive in Jamaica with a nice new car if you're white. Like you can drive through a community if you're a different race, they won't touch you. If you speak different, they won't touch you. But make you be black coming from that community, leave Jamaica, get a new car and go back, that's the time they start profiling you and want to kill you. So I don't think crime and tourism, because tourism is our main
way of making money.
Yeah, it's our primary economic
like system, I understand.
It's our primary economic. I forgot the word what I was going to use, but yeah, it's what makes us the most money. So the governments, even because I'm telling you something about governments. Anything the government wants to stop happening, it will stop happening. Anything. So if they tell you that they want fentanyl or this to stop happening, they really don't want it to stop happening. It's a bigger reason why they want it to stop happening. But let me tell you, like Jamaica, yeah, the crime on each other, it is bad. Like, but crime on tourism, the crime on people outside of Jamaica is really not that bad. So if you're a tourist coming in Jamaica, you're not going to really experience the worst side of Jamaica. And even I'm telling you, like, if you stay away from trouble, 95% of the time, trouble stays away from you. Maybe if you're in the wrong place, wrong time, but it's a regular, like, anyway, you go to work, you come home, you do this, but it's the gang violence and community versus community. You can just be sitting on a corner and, like in this song, men pull up on you, just take your life.
It's crazy.
For nothing. So it's not like crazy like some other parts of the world, but it's like gangs versus gangs. The world is like a war for power, and like it's just like people beefing with each other, basically. So
yeah, I know Chicago, we have a gang problem. You know that, mostly in the south side of Chicago, and I always hear the same narratives, whereas like black people kill black people, which I think it's something just really deep. I think it's a rivalry that started when people are young, and so I really don't understand how that works. In Kenya we have gangs, but they're not as like dangerous or like quite viral, like let's say Chicago or Jamaica. And the government is very swift. Anytime a gang tries to arise, they just drop it down so quick. But another question is, so we have so many countries in the Caribbean, you know, few countries. I know, like, is it Bahamas? We have few of them. I can't mention all of them. But why does Jamaica stand out as one of the most famous countries?
Jamaica, I'm gonna tell you, Jamaica is the most fun place on earth. Like, if you want to enjoy yourself, come to Jamaica. Jamaica is like nowhere else, man. Like, just thinking in my head, like, there's nowhere else I can have as much fun as I had in Jamaica. Like, our language, how people talk, how people act as comedic. It's just like how people just life overall. It just feels down to earth. It just feels natural. I don't know if because I'm from Jamaica, but it just feels like natural.
Do you think that the legend Bob Marley kind of is the one who sold Jamaica to the world?
That is true. Like, even in Montana, when I went to Montana, Jamaica is like the #1 country outside of the US. It's famous. Like, everyone loves weed, everyone loves the colors. This wristband, I got this from a white guy in Montana. He said, "You come from Jamaica?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I have this, I got it." And he just gave it to me. Like, they love Jamaica.
Yeah, I have my Rasta. I have my Rasta band too, so I got it in Kenya.
But yeah, they do love Jamaica.
That's interesting. So if I keep on going, we have the Rastas, the Rastafarians. Actually, I'm always like a big fan of Rasta. I feel like Rasta. Oh, sorry, my phone is going off. I feel like Rastas, they sold or they kind of advertised your country, but they did not get the respect that they should have got. I feel like right now people disrespect Rastas because everywhere you go around the planet, if you just say Rasta, people think about Jamaica.
Yeah.
Do you think that they are treated fair with the government right now? Or because I've seen them loitering around when I was in Jamaica, I saw them just like poor. Many of them are poor, they look kind of depressed, and then the religion is kind of dying. Do you think the religion is dying?
I do not think so, because I think the religion itself is dying, but the factor of the hair or the fashion within. Right now, everyone in Jamaica is gonna. I think I'm gonna lock my hair. Everyone in Jamaica, even they don't practice the religion, everyone's trying to lock their hair. Be proud of your hair. Proud of your. Just lock it because it's your hair. Just wear it how you wanna. So I think it's not. It is all. To me, if I want to go, all religions are dying, but that's a different.
That's right. Yeah.
Conversation for a different topic.
Yeah.
But I don't think I think Rasta is bigger than ever, but the stereotype that all Jamaicans are this Rasta that hangs on, because I get that in Montana a lot, and it's quite disrespectful. Like sometimes they ask me like, do you guys have communities in Jamaica? And do you guys just live in the street or live in the trees and just smoke all day and just sing Bob Marley?
That's right.
That's not
crazy,
Jamaica.
Yeah.
Everywhere is Americanized. Everywhere has an American. Maybe if you go to the rural parts of Jamaica, you'll see that, but everywhere is trying to be like America, so it's not that.
And which I really don't like, because it's like every other place in the planet is trying to be like the United States, and then they end up losing their culture. Because for me, I feel like Africans should be as Africans, and they should have their own architecture that represents their African culture, same as any other country in the planet, like the Caribbean countries. So I don't really like, because Americans lack community values. Like here, there's so much money, there's big properties and big cars, all kind of crazy stuff. But depression and community values and like relationships are just dead. I think
what makes the most money is what the world is gonna try to cling on to. So it's right now everywhere is just trying to make the most money. So if the American culture, the belief in America that everyone will get rich one day, or that aspect will make more money in the end, if it looks better, if the fashion looks better, if it looks better, the world is gonna follow. The world follows money. I think that's where we are at right now. It wasn't like that 30 years ago, but it's right now,
There's this guy, he's a very famous musician from Jamaica. I think young people know him, or maybe millennials or something. My channel has like variety of like all ages. Like we have like as old as, my subscribers range from at least 80 to as young as let's say 15.
Okay.
So it's like most of my. But anyway, if you know this guy called DJ Palmer, or vybzkartel.
Yeah.
So this guy was arrested 14 years ago for charges of murder. He's like one of the best dancehall artists in Jamaica and in the whole planet, because I grew up in Kenya when he had a very big influence, and there's a neighborhood in Nairobi that was named Gaza. That's right. So
he's a powerful person, crazy. I'm telling you. He's great with his music.
I know he was just, I feel like 2-3 weeks ago he was released from prison after 14 years, and they found him like he was not guilty. What's your take on that? Do you think he was guilty?
Of course. Yeah. Everyone. He doesn't even deny it anymore. Everyone knows that. But we can talk about the law and the justice system and justice systems of the world in a different like podcast. But everyone knows he's guilty. But when you have to understand that when you grow up, he grew up as a thug. He grew up as like all the other artists. He grew up you want your voice to be heard. That's, especially as a man, that's all you want. You just want your voice to be heard. And sometimes life just happens. And I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying that you cannot find God or find peace in what you're doing, but he is a criminal. I'm just letting you know that on YouTube that he is.
I believe so. I believe for sure, because from all his music and all the way he used to live his life 14 years back was quite controversial. You know, like we used to have these gang members in Nairobi who they used to call themselves Gazans, and they used to say that vybzkartel was their god, and they used to stab people and kill them. So I can just imagine that influence out of Jamaica towards Africa. But he just came out recently, and he's kind of sounds more mature. I don't know if I say that.
I think he was always mature. Like even if in his interviews, he'd never ever condoned violence. As I said, he did what he had to do because it was the life he grew up in and the life he lived and the power he had. But it's just like, I could say for other rappers, you think other rappers here don't do violence? Or not involved in violence?
They do, yeah.
And let me tell you something about power and someone who's not used to power. Sometimes if someone does you wrong, it crosses your mind to kill them. Believe me, it crosses your mind. And if you have the power to do it and not get caught, 8 times out of 10 you would do it. Sometimes, like in some rage moments. So when you have that power, you have to be like, it's not like me and you walking on the earth wanting to do stuff, can't do stuff, or wanting some type of influence, can't have it. It's gonna be different. So it's always good to remember God. I'm not saying it's impossible, like you can be a normal human being and have power, but it's always
That's crazy.
Yeah, to remember.
One thing. So, in America, many African Americans, if I use that, they don't consider Africa as their home. Some of them, some do. A good number don't. In Jamaica, I realized when I was there, many Rastafarians considered Africa as their homeland, and every time I could meet a Rasta in the street, they'd be like, "Oh, you're from home? Go back and say greetings on my behalf." I know you're not Rasta, but I know other Jamaicans, like a majority number of Jamaicans, because the Rasta population is not as big as the way it used to be. What about like you? Do you think that many black people in Jamaica still consider Africa as their home?
Let me tell you something. So that was the thing about when I say Rastas and how they basically speak for all Jamaicans and they're just a small population. Yes, what Rastas believe in, yes, Africa is their home. They believe that, and I completely agree with that aspect. But most Jamaicans hate themselves, even when they talk about that controversial figure and why he bleaches his skin or why he does that. Most Jamaicans hate their skin color and hate the way they come from. It's not speak for all Jamaicans. Most Jamaicans look up to England, look up to the first world countries, and they despise Africa. So that happens in Jamaica.
And why do you think that happened?
Because
why did they come into that spot where they really don't like themselves and they despise where they came from?
I think it's coming from, like, you know, when you're young and you used to watch
movies and
TVs like Nickelodeon or these shows talking about America, like everything in this world is America trying to purport their greatness on the world, and I think it's a part of the mental slavery on the whole population. I know this happens in Africa as well, where people hate themselves.
That's right.
I don't have to ask you.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's an aspect of it, but there are many different aspects of why. Maybe some of them are just ugly and just blame Africa. They just blame something. I don't know.
So some African Americans blame Africans, and they always say that Africans sold them to slavery.
That is true.
Jamaicans also do the same?
Where?
Do they also feel like Africans sold them? Jamaica, like some Jamaicans?
They teach it in school, but what they really purport is that white people slave. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, because as I said, some African Americans think that, which is true, which is actually, I have to admit this, some Africans used to sell their own friends to slave trade. So Jamaicans also know that Africans did that.
So the smart Jamaicans know that. Not all. The typical Jamaicans on the road know. But the smart Jamaicans, the one who actually did history and the one who actually read, yeah, they know.
Quick question before we finish our podcast. This is quite interesting. I think we might have to do another one, either when I come to Jamaica, because I'm planning to come, or before you leave.
Okay.
How was Jamaica formed? Like, how did Jamaica come into being? This is something interesting. I would like
the history of Jamaica?
Yeah, like how did Jamaica come into place?
So if you do not know the history of Jamaica, the culture of who we are started from slavery. Started from we fighting for freedom, fighting for independence, fighting for everything we had. Notable figures like Marcus Garvey speaking about black history and black culture, and it's just that fighting spirit we have in us, and that wanting to know more than we already know. I think that's what defined us as us. And wanting to be better, wanting to be great at what we do. Just that fighting nature in us that makes us so popular now. They can see it in all aspects. We have the best musicians, the best athletes, the best.
I've had comments
just a small country.
I've had comments that Jamaica was like a stopping point for slaves, and then when slavery ended, they left everybody there to find for themselves, and the land belonged to the Spanish. That's what I heard.
So what I'm gonna say is that Jamaica is our slogan is out of many one people. So Jamaica is like a mixing breed of all races. That's our key factor. Like Jamaica is not just black, Jamaica is not just Chinese, Jamaica is not just Indian. Jamaica is everything mixed into one, and that's what makes us who we are. But to add, I don't forget your question, who owns Jamaica now. I think the reason why our independence was given is because they know that we do not own anything in the country. So they basically, we're still working for them, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I was surprised, like even when vybzkartel had to go to England to appeal in the court, so England kind of released.
Yes, not like, we don't even own our law, our constitution. So that's a factor where most people do not realize that they think they're free. I'm telling you, if you come here in America, the most successful companies in America are owned by Americans. I can say that the most successful companies in Britain are owned by British. I'm telling you, not one single successful company is owned by Jamaica. Jamaica prefer to order stuff off Amazon, pay extra to ship it, get it from here than to actually see a manufacturer in Jamaica and buy it from them. Jamaica don't like anything Jamaican owned. That's a part of this problem as well. We do not own anything in the country. We work for who owns everything in the country, and that's where the country goes.
This is interesting. So Jamaicans don't even own Jamaica?
No, we don't. I'm telling you.
Wow. So we still have slavery like playing itself way loud.
It's like when you grow up and realize like what does a Jamaican own, like really? Or even if he owns it, it's not heavily influenced by someone outside of Jamaica. Like if someone outside of Jamaica stops their finger, anything in that company can go how it goes. And when you think about it, it's like, yeah, that's where the part where we need to fix first. I know that it's easier said than done, because to actually own a business is harder than how it looks. Like I'm telling you, like for manufacturing, the cost of production, it is ridiculous. Like you have to have money, and you have to have public, like you have to have skills, and I'm telling so it's not easy, but we can, because you see, we produce the fastest athletes, we produce the greatest musicians, we have people, we can do it if we put our minds to. So
quick question, name 3 best dancehall artists according to you, before we finish this segment.
My personal favorite artist is Alkaline.
Okay.
He's new. He's like, yeah, number 1.
Number 2.
Dancehall artist. I can't pick 3 because I'm feeling I'm going to leave out so many. Should I pick from the modern era?
Any.
I'm going to pick from what I grew up listening to. So Alkaline number 1. vybzkartel has to be up there.
Right, yeah.
Like I think it's tied, Alkaline and vybzkartel. I love them. I respect them both. And Massacre.
I know Massacre.
Yeah.
Top 3 reggae artists.
That's the other thing with we young people do not listen to reggae as much, but I'm gonna give you. I like Sizzla. Sizzla is tough. I like Sizzla. I like Chronix. And I would say Buju Banton.
Yeah, Buju Banton. It's big in America.
Yeah.
Anyway, but for me, I'll tell you my top 3 dancehall artists. First one is Conscience.
Conscience?
Yeah, I did not know that. More modern and very cool. Beanie Man, the OG. I like Beanie.
Beanie Man?
I like Beanie, big time.
Who else?
And then let me think, on dancehall, I like Popcorn.
Like Popcorn. Yeah, Popcorn. He's like our international figure. He's big outside Jamaica.
Yeah. For reggae, I'll go for obvious Bob Marley. He's very awesome, great guy, lived a good life. The second person I'll give is Joseph Hill, or Culture. His name is Culture. You know him? There is a land far, far away. Oh yeah, young boy, yeah. Okay. And then the last one, I'll give it to Chronix. Chronix is like one of the most modern artists who still push out that reggae vibe. And actually, Kenya, let me tell you, if I wish you could understand how Kenyans love Jamaica.
For real?
I feel like if Jamaica was next to Kenya, Kenyans will just get their citizenship straight.
For real?
Yeah, we even have a visa. Like, I don't need a visa to come to Jamaica. I just walk in straight to the airport. Same as you don't need a visa to go to Kenya.
I think there's something like that, yeah.
But anyway, this is a good chat, brother.
All right.
I'm really looking forward. I think we can do this again when I come to Jamaica, or before you leave. We'll see what happens today.
Yeah. All right.
Appreciate.
All right.
Peace.
All right.
Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe for you to get all kind of these amazing episodes. My guy here was so happy to be part of this, and if you're watching this, please let me know if you'd like to be in my video. Until next time, peace.